The most successful financial professionals today have a particular mindset that maybe they did not have 20 years ago or 30 years ago. And here is that mindset that meetings with their prospects are not jousting matches, right? They're not jousting matches. Now, if you've been in the business for any period of time, especially in financial services sales for any period of time, you have probably had that trainer or that mentor that once upon a time said this. When you're sitting with that prospect and he's there with his wife, if he's not buying what you're selling, you ask him this question. And the question, it's a zinger question, right? So you ask him that question, you see his face start to turn red. His wife is looking at him, and he's starting to get embarrassed in front of his wife. He feels irrelevant in front of his wife. You wait for that response. And by the way, the first one to speak is the one that loses. Have you heard this before? Comment below if you've heard this before. I've heard this before a lot of times. The first one to speak is the one that loses. Doesn't that reek of combativeness, by the way? I didn't know that this was a win or lose proposition, me and the prospect. To me, whether I'm working with the financial professionals that work with my company or the consumers, it's more of a win-win type thing. I educate them and talk about how we can take the hill together, which is a completely different mindset than the first one to speak is the one that loses. But that's how many of us have been trained, and that is exactly how financial services has gotten the reputation that it's gotten today. And as a result of that, that is not working anymore. Nor should it have ever worked. It's not working anymore because consumers, they have their antennas up. And if you come across in the slightest bit of high pressure or not knowing your stuff, then that also breeds lack of trust. And with lack of trust, you are not going to sell that prospect. I even kind of hate the word sell. You are not going to sell that prospect, right? So here is the good news. The good news is there is a method today that a lot of financial professionals use, and it is a method based off of building trust. And building trust is being a subject matter expert, having an online presence. Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have a website? Do you have a website with a blog? Do you have something? And all this stuff is almost free, right? Do you have something out there that displays your subject matter expertise? The fact that you are an expert in this area, which then breeds trust, breeds education. And if you teach somebody something, well, that's automatically kind of building trust versus, making them feel bad and then having them sign up with you. There's something in behavioral finance, by the way, called regret aversion bias. And it is something like, and it goes something like, if you make that person feel bad and then they come back and say, well, yeah, I'm going to buy that. Isn't that kind of admitting that they were wrong in the first place? And people don't want to admit they're wrong. They are averse to regret, right? So the point is number one, those tactics are done. They're done. Today, as I think it was Daniel Pink that said, today it is not buyer beware, it is seller beware. You have to be on your A game today. But then number two, what I would say is you have to be an expert. You have to have an online presence that will build trust and you will get clients. Now, how do you get all this stuff? How do you get the subject matter expertise if you don't currently have that? Have a marketing organization that will help you. But then number three, the last thing is this. Successful practices today view the business more as kind of a smoker versus my Weber grill that'll cook things quickly at 1,000 degrees. The one call closes and all that stuff are gone. The best food that I ever tasted was on my smoker after it's cooked for like 10, 12, 14 hours. So unfortunately, the process is a longer process nowadays, but fortunately, in the end, you will have a healthier business. But in order to get all this stuff that I'm talking about, you have to partner with the right people. And this is where, partnering with a good marketing organization will come in handy. If you like this, please like and share with your friends. Comment below as well, whatever your thoughts are. Do you disagree with me? My name is Charlie Gipple. I'm the CEO of CG Financial Group, an independent marketing organization based out of Des Moines, Iowa. Thank you and have a good day.